Welcome back to the show. It's your girl Sarah right here on Relax Radio, and I'm super excited to be here to share my thoughts, share my opinions with you because we're going to be talking about why exactly Lake District is in peril. Okay, now obviously this is an important conversation to be having as well, and that's obviously because climate change has been happening, and it's a big problem, right? And before we actually head into the conversation, I want to very quickly remind you that you can in fact be a part of the show. All you need to do is just text me or call me on 078 Share your thoughts, share your opinions. Let me know what you're thinking and let me know how you're feeling with regard to whatever is, feeling with regard to what is happening here in Lake District. All right. Now, the reason I want to have this conversation and the reason I want to share my thoughts and opinions with you, obviously, is to make sure that you understand how much of an impact that climate change has on our planet, how much of an impact that climate change has on things we do on the planet we live in the environment that we live in. All right, so that is what the conversation is about. Now make sure to stay tuned and don't forget to go follow us on our socials either, because you can like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and actually make sure that you're always informed and updated about the very latest. All right. Now, something else that you can actually do is also to go download the app, because that's available for free on both the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store as well. Okay. So don't actually forget to don't forget to go like us on Facebook, share our posts, share our content with your friends, with your family, and to download our app either, because that will be absolutely amazing. And now let's actually talk a little bit about, how Lake District is in peril. All right. Now, I'm not sure if you heard of William Wordsworth, who happens to be one of the famous poets like in the world. But he wrote, he wrote the poem "I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud" about Lake District. All right. However, 2 centuries later, if you actually take a look at Lake District, you'll understand how much of pollution, how much of climate change has actually affected Lake District, because it looks absolutely nothing like it used to look back then. And I understand, with human activity, with people, with industrialization, with urbanization, with all of these changes that have been happening in society, it's not something that we didn't see coming, right? It was expected. However, we didn't expect it to be as bad as it is right now. And the truth is that is what has happened right now. Okay, because no matter how much of warnings we've had from scientists, from different kinds of people saying, oh, you probably need to take a step back, reduce those carbon emissions, us being human and whatnot, we definitely don't listen to those scientists, right? Because we always tend to think that they're exaggerating, and and they're probably just making up a whole lot of this because they're probably jobless, right? I don't know. That's what I think people think, right? However, the truth is, all of those warnings they gave us repeatedly, the ones we ignored, those ones that we actually should have paid attention to, because we didn't pay attention to any of that and we didn't listen to any of it, what is happening right now is that climate change is affecting our entire world, right? And it's not even something small. It's not even it rains late, or it's not even something like, oh, it's a flood once in a while. It's things like flash floods every other week. It's forest fires everywhere in the world. It's basically heat waves, it's droughts, and the worst part is that this happens with such a huge intensity and even frequency, right? This keeps happening so often. This keeps happening all the time, that I'm thinking to myself, look, this possibly cannot be happening this fast, right? And if anything, the recent IPCC report that was published should be evidence enough for you to understand how bad climate change is, how bad the climate crisis is actually affecting everyone in the entire world. All right, because Lake District is just one of the few districts that have been affected, right? Now, 2 centuries after William Wordsworth wrote that poem, the park's natural beauty is in fact eroding much faster than ever before. Okay, you're having ecologists that are warning that as a result of climate change and climate emergency, and a huge influx of pandemic walkers, that this whole area is going to change, right? Now, Joanne Backshall, who happens to lead the National Trust program, which is called Fix the Fells, said that the natural flora along some of the park's most famous peaks, including the Old Man of Coniston and even Scaffold Pike, was being rapidly destroyed after an exceptionally busy 18 months, right? Because with the pandemic and everything, people started going out on walks and stuff, and that actually increased the pandemic walkers that were there that were actually there here in the United Kingdom, especially in Lake District, right? And because of that, all of these places are in fact getting rapidly destroyed simply because of human activity, right? So maybe if you took some extra care, maybe if you did some maybe if you actually cared about the environment and did something sustainable, made a few changes to make sure you protect the environment, we would actually be in a much, much better place. All right. So that is what the problem is. Like, we're just out here, we're lighting fires, and we're having bonfires, and we think that it's completely fine because, what if just one person lights it up, then that's okay. If one people lights up a fire, then that's okay. But the thing is, there are so many people who think like that. They think they're the only ones who are doing the wrong thing, and the truth is, even though they think they're the only ones doing the wrong thing, they're not. There are so many other people out there who are doing the exact same thing and saying, oh, you know what, it's just me, me burning a little bit probably isn't even going to contribute to climate change so much, because there are huge companies out there are huge corporations out there that are just burning stuff, right? And basically that's what they think, right? So that's just the truth of it. And sometimes I find it funny as well, but if you actually think about how much of damage how much damage we've caused this planet, how much of things that this planet has had to go through because of us, it's honestly a miracle that we're still surviving in this planet, that our planet still has space for us, because of if you look at the way that we've destroyed the planet, the way that human activity has caused the planet to basically die out, it's actually really, really scary. All right. And this is just one place. So imagine there are so many other places like this in the world, right? Now, something else that Joanna had to say was that everything is much, much busier than she has ever seen before. All right. People are much busier. People are much busier, and even though we've been stuck at home, even though that's the whole thing, even though we're all even though we're all saying, oh, look, what, now that I'm stuck at home, I actually have a little bit of free time, I actually have more time for myself. The truth is, people are much more busier than ever before. All right. And the truth is, because we're so busy, you go to when you're going on the road, you buy coffee, you go to different cafes, you consume stuff. And the truth is, because recently we had these restrictions that were eased because of all of that. What's happening is that we're seeing all of these people who used to be stuck at home now coming out on the streets. And because there are so many people in that same place at the same time, what's happening is pollution is increasing. It's being trampled, and also with having to maintain social distance. When people are walking, they have to maintain social distance, so that path is actually much wider than it was, and it's in fact much more damaged. All right. So that's just the sad truth. And honestly, if we don't do something about this, then there's honestly no future for us in this planet. All right. Now, make sure you stay tuned, because we're going to head into a small break, and after that we will be back to discuss more of this. So until then, make sure that you stay tuned.
The valuations that you place on an asset are always behind you. It's always in hindsight. It's never in front of you. And that's one of the challenges, right? Because you're always valuing what happened yesterday, and what you need is what's going to happen tomorrow. What am I saving or investing for? Why am I doing it? When will I need the money? And how much money do I need? Yeah. So that's quite important, because when you're looking at your net worth, you got to start with saying, well, what do I want my net worth to be? So that there's a goal, and then work backwards. How do I get there? And if I can start with £50 or $50 a week, if I save that every week, and and you can go online and use calculators online. I don't have to teach you the maths behind it, but you can say, okay, and if I get a 3% return and I put this away for how long will it take to reach my goal? And that's called just this basic cash flow projection calculations. And it's what we use in financial planning all the time. What we say to clients is we say, okay, what is your goal? What is your objective? Where do you want to go to? And we discuss that in a lot of detail and over most of the meeting. And then the rest of it is saying, okay, in your exact circumstances, with your risk profile, with how you feel about investments and pensions and taxes and where you are and who you work with, and your education level or your lack of education or how involved you want to be. There's a lot of variables that we take into account, and then we say, okay, here's a plan. You start like this, that's great. And then we review it all the time. And we say, okay, we need to increase it, we're on track, we're not, this is what is happening. Because remember, when you're dealing with assets, the valuations that you place on an asset are always behind you. It's always in hindsight. It's never in front of you. And that's one of the challenges, right? Because you're always valuing what happened yesterday, and what you need is what's going to happen tomorrow. So that's a struggle. Yeah. So there are strategies everywhere from £50 a week up to £100 million pounds, and they're different. Right? They range differently from everyone, but and from country to country, to be fair. Different countries have different tax laws, so different vehicles. But from your point of view, at the sort of normal end, I'm not going to call it the low end because I'm in that boat as well. It's as tax efficient as you can get it. That's where you start. You use all the tax efficiencies, and then you step up into different things.
Hi guys, welcome back to the show. It's your girl Sarah, and it's almost the final few minutes of the sunrise, but don't worry because I still have a lot left to talk about with you. I still have a lot left to share with you as well. So don't be afraid to let me get in touch with me, share your thoughts, share your opinions, because that would be absolutely amazing as well. All right, now all you need to do is to just text me or call me on 078-52473-473. Text me, call me, let me know what your thoughts are, let me know what your opinions are with regard to what we're talking about. All right, now I know climate change is something that a lot of us are concerned about. It's something that obviously we all want to change, right? Because the truth is our leaders don't actually seem to be caring too much about saving this planet. So go ahead, let me know what you think that we should do. What do you think we as people can change? What kind of changes do you think we can make in our lifestyle to actually make sure that we protect the climate, to make sure we protect the planet? All right, so let me know what your thoughts and opinions are. Let me know how you feel, and let me know what you think about this whole situation, because currently we're talking about how the Lake District is in fact in peril. All right, and the best way for you to let me know whether you care about the planet or not, obviously, is by texting me, letting me know what you think, letting me know what your thoughts are, because that's the best way for us to have a conversation to protect the planet, to save the planet, and to make sure we're doing what we can do best to save the planet. All right, and something else that you can actually do is to go like us on Facebook. Now you can like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and even subscribe to our YouTube channel, and that way you can actually make sure that you're always informed and updated about everything we talk about. All right, and obviously don't forget to go download the app either, because that's available for free on both the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store as well. Okay, so don't forget to do that. And now let's actually head into our conversation, because we still have a lot more left to talk about. These extreme weather events these extreme weather events, and how, how exactly climate change is affecting these beautiful places that have been known for their beauty, right? And let's also talk a little bit about tourism, right? Especially because the United Kingdom here, we have tourism here in our country, right? And for people to come and look at these beautiful places, and for you to earn money out of it, you're not actually going to have people coming in if you don't have any beauty, right? I mean, that's as simple as it is. If you're not going to have beautiful destinations, then people aren't going to come, and if people aren't going to come, then that means in terms of tourism, that's probably not going to be that great for you either, right? So that's why it's important for you to actually make sure that's why it's important for you to actually make sure that you protect the environment. And you know what, like, the other thing that I keep thinking is, I can't be the only one, or it just can't be a group of people, a group of charities, a group of activists that keep going on and on about the environment, because at the end of the day, the environment is a place that we all live in. It's not just you, or it's not just me, it's all of us, right? So then obviously our rulers too have some form of, they have an inherent duty to actually protect our environment. So why exactly aren't they doing it? Why exactly aren't they doing what they're supposed to be doing? Are they being hypocritical? Exactly, right? Because I honestly feel like, at the end of the day, all these people are just big talk. They don't actually do anything. I mean, come on, it's pretty easy for me to come up here and tell you, oh look, you know what, we need to protect the planet, we need to save the environment, and we need to do this, we need to do that. But if I actually say all of that and I don't actually do anything about it, then that makes me a hypocrite, and that makes the people who voted for me very disappointed in me as well, right? And that's just my take on it. But if you have different takes, you can honestly go ahead and share it with me. You can go ahead and let me know what you're thinking, and let me know how you are feeling about this topic. All right, now I also want to very quickly talk to you about how this is affecting all of these animal and plant diversities that live there, right? Now I know whenever you see a cute animal, you're always going to go goo goo gaga over it, and you're going to be like, oh, that's so cute, or like, oh, that's like the cutest animal I've ever seen in my life, or something, right? But look, you know what, if you don't protect the planet, and if we don't actually take care of this lake district because it's in peril, what's going to happen is you're not actually going to be able to anymore, because there aren't going to be any planets, or rather any plants rather, or animals for you to do that, right? Because something that I've noticed is that the erosion that has been caused in the lake district has actually resulted in a lot of plant and animal diversities dying. It has resulted in a lot of these animal and plant diversities reducing as well. All right, and that actually brings us to the end of the show, so don't worry, because I will be here again, same time, same place, same frequency, to keep talking to you about everything that is happening all over the United Kingdom. So make sure you stay tuned for that. All right, and I really, really hope you have a good day, because it's time for me to head out of here. But don't worry, because Jamie will be on the chat trap next, and she will be here to make sure that you're always informed and updated about the very latest. All right, so make sure to stay tuned, make sure to stay informed. But I'm going to head out of here, and I'm going to hope that you have an amazing day.